let's get started in heart bench. So we'll set up with both of our blocks, one on the highest height, one down the length of the mat on the medium height. So think here when you're laying down on the blocks, this back block is going to support the back of your neck. This center block is going to support the length of your spine. And then legs could be extended long, soles of the feet could be together, feet could be planted. Whatever's comfortable here, we just want to make sure the hips are tilted down onto the mat. All good. Okay, cool. So getting comfortable here, noticing how the body is feeling. And then we'll just take a couple rounds of breath here. So first, let go of any air in the body. And then we'll take a deep breath in through the nose. And then exhale, let it go. Big breath in. Exhale, release. Biggest breath yet, in through the nose. Hold it here, take another sip of air. Open your mouth, release. Sealing your lips, we'll take breaths in and out through the nose. Just noticing the breath, noticing if you're holding any tension in the body. And then for today's class, recently in class, I've been focusing a lot on the different limbs or 8 limbs of yoga. And ultimately, these are the guiding principles and the systematic approach to creating a balanced, ethical, compassionate life through yoga. And one of the limbs of yoga is called the niyamas, or moral observations that we have and live by through in our lives. So think of your personal observances, how you manage your lifestyle, manage how you create space in the world and respond to all of the things around you. And the specific niyama that I want to focus on today is called santosha, which means contentment. It's ultimately the quality of being happy and grateful for what you have in your life. So it's a little bit different from joy or happiness in the sense that it's more of a mindset than just a singular feeling in that moment, and not necessarily something spontaneous. So if you guys live in Fairmount, you probably have seen this person on a bike before, but there's this person who rides around, usually has kind of like a funky shirt on, a bunch of signs on their bike. And a lot of times the intent with what he's doing is that he wants to just make people smile throughout his day. So there's a sign on his bike that says, "Make you smile and be the change that you wish to see." And it's clear that this person kind of carries this throughout their entire life and through every movement that they do. So think of those moments in your life where you just have that unwavering gratitude towards the people around you, towards how you're kind of moving in your life. And how can you take that example and maybe, offer something kindly to a stranger or have a conversation with someone and just pass along that gratitude. So with that, let's seal in our santosha theme by taking a big breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. So lifting your arms high overhead, finding maybe opposite elbows or interlacing your fingers, lifting your heart towards the ceiling. Maybe you sway side to side, just massage the shoulders into the blocks. And then lower your arms back down by your side. Maybe you plant your feet, knees stacked over ankles, and slowly lift yourself up off of the blocks. So moving them off to the side, keeping them close by. We'll just bring the soles of the feet together, knees knocked wide. Option to stay here. Another option could be placing your blocks under your knees. We'll interlace our fingers over the toes. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, hinge and fold. So can you think here about not forcing yourself forward, but lengthening from the base of your hips and spine to release? Can you relax your shoulders away from your ears? We'll stay here for a few more breaths. Lift the gaze, beautiful. Last full breath here. And then lifting back up through center, we'll just plant the feet, knees stacked over ankles. Bring your fingertips behind you, wrists face away from the body, and then just sway the knees side to side, just getting into the hip flexors a bit here, noticing maybe one side's a little tighter than the other. And the next time that you knock your knees over to the right, we'll keep them there. So think about creating these 90-degree angles with the legs and then fold over your right shin. So flexing the toes here, ankle directly under your left knee. Maybe you reach the fingertips long and fold. Another option could be lowering onto forearms, or maybe you place a block under your forehead to lift the ground up. Beautiful. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And then lift up as you inhale. Plant your right hand behind you. Press the knees into the mat so you can lift the hips. Sweeping your left fingertips to the back of the room, stretching through the front of your hip flexors. We'll take 1 more breath here. And then lower the hips down. And then sweep the hands high overhead and just fold right down the middle of your mat. So can you press the hips back here as you lengthen through the chest and spine? Last breath here. Lift as you inhale, and then just place your hands behind you. We're going to stack knees over ankles, bring the soles of the feet close. Roll your shoulders away as you inhale. Exhale, press the feet, lift the hips for reverse tabletop. So can you think here about engaging your inner thighs, keeping knees stacked over ankles? Can you think about taking your gaze either in a neutral position towards the ceiling, or if this feels okay on the neck, allowing the neck to drop back and release. Beautiful. Continuing to press into the feet and hands, lifting here for 1 more breath. And then exhale, let it go. Just sway the knees side to side. Keeping the hands where they are. The next time you knock your knees over to the left, we'll keep them there. And then bring your hands over your left shin as you fold and release. So keeping the toes flexed. Maybe you tent your fingertips or lower onto forearms or blocks. We'll stay here for a few more breaths. And then lift up as you inhale. Left hand plants behind you. Sweep the right fingertips high as you press into the knees, pressing the hips forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together, lifting the heart. 1 more breath here. And then lower down. We'll just sweep now both hands high. Inhale, exhale, fold forward, let it go. Staying here for 2 more breaths. And then lifting back up through center. We'll stack knees over ankles. This time, place a block between your inner thighs and then really hug into the block. Feel the inner thigh muscles kind of fire up here. Bring your fingertips behind you. Roll the shoulders as you inhale. Exhale, press the feet, lift the hips, keep squeezing into the block for your reverse tabletop. Can you tuck the tailbone under and really press the hips up? Beautiful. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. And then slowly lower down. We'll keep the block between our legs. And then from here, fingertips stay. Just lift the knees up off the mat. So option to stay here on your hands. You can also lower down onto your forearms. So wherever we are, we're pressing the chest and lifting. Keep pressing into the block, engage the core. On your next inhale, tap your toes down. Exhale, lift. Inhale to lower and tap. Exhale, lift. So taking this at your own pace here. If you're on your forearms, can you tuck the forearms underneath the shoulders? Yes, there we go. Nice, Leah. Last couple breaths here. Really engaging through the core muscles. Can you take the gaze up? Last breath here. And then lower the toes down, press back up onto your palms. And then move the block off to the side. We'll just extend the legs long, press the heels away, reach the arms high as we inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Maybe you reach for big toes, outer edges of your feet. Maybe you tent your fingertips. Beautiful. So lift the gaze. Yes. Last full breath here. And then lifting up as you inhale. Exhale, cross your legs, roll over the knees. We'll just be in a tabletop position. So from here, we'll stack wrists underneath the shoulders, hips over knees. On your next inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Exhale, press and round through the spine. Inhale, gaze long. Exhale, curve and round. So moving here at your own pace through cat and cow. Maybe you add some organic movements, if that looks like taking a gaze over each shoulder. Maybe you make circles with your hips around your wrists. If you want to turn the hands in different directions, get it into the forearms. Last couple breaths here. And then finding a neutral tabletop position. So from here, we're going to extend the right leg long. Toes are pointed down. Toes are lifted up off the mat. And then bring your left hand forward, palm facing in, so your thumb is pointing up. Reach with the left arm to take the shoulder out of its socket and then press back so you can really feel the engagement. Notice where your big toe of your right foot is. Is it turned down and in? Is the heel in line with the hip? And then notice, where's your right wrist? Is it under the shoulder? Is it slightly in front? Think about pulling that wrist under the shoulder. One more inhale here. Exhale, we're gonna cactus the arm and bring the right knee to the right shoulder. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, cactus your arm and leg. 2 more times like that. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, goalpost and cactus. Last time, inhale to extend. Exhale, cactus, and stay here. Can you lift the elbow in line with the shoulder? Can you try to lift the knee a little higher? Beautiful. Leg stays lifted, but lower the left hand down. Then kick the right leg out to the side. Blade edge of your foot presses out. Rock forwards and backwards into your hips. And then stack your shoulders over your wrists. We're going to center the right hand under the gaze. Reach the left hand high as you inhale. Exhale, thread the needle lower down onto your left shoulder. So continuing to really press into the inside of your foot so that the big toe and the entire inside is pressed down. Beautiful. Maybe you stay here. The right hand could go diagonal. It might go around the low back. Another option could be taking the left hand and reaching for somewhere on your right leg to deepen the expression. Nice, Ebony. Last breath here. Keep the leg where it is. Lift the arm left hand high to unwind. And then lower the hand down. We're just going to sweep that right foot back as you turn to the side of your mat. And then come up to standing. So we're still pressing into the inner thigh and the blade edge of the foot. Reach the hands high as you inhale. Exhale, right hand lowers down, side bend towards the back of the room. Feeling length through the left side body. Beautiful. Can you think about turning that left palm in and really reaching? Last full breath here. Reach the hands back high as you inhale. Exhale, lower the left hand to the top of the mat as maybe that right foot floats up off the mat. Can you reach the right fingertips forward? Beautiful. One more breath here. Lower the foot down, lower the hand to the top of the mat. We'll meet in a tabletop position, maybe take a round or two of cat and cow. And we'll come back through center and then extend the left foot behind you. Right hand comes forward. Everything's gonna be up off the mat, lengthening in opposing directions. Setting up here is the left wrist directly under the shoulder. Are you rotating the elbow crease forward, elbow bone back? Is the big toe of the left foot turned down and in? Nice, Chi. Reach far with the right hand. Stay as you inhale. Exhale, everything cactuses as you bring the elbow wide, knee wide. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, cactus. 2 more times like this. Inhale to reach. Exhale to center. Last time, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, cactus, and hold. Lifting the leg a little higher. Can you keep the right elbow in line with the shoulder? Nice, Kelsey. Last full breath here. Lower the hand down, kick the left foot to the side of the mat. Big toe presses in as you sway forwards and backwards into the hips. And then coming back through center, we'll stack the shoulders over the wrist. This time your left hand centers. Inhale, reach the right hand high. Exhale, thread the needle lower down onto the right shoulder. Maybe the left hand goes forward, diagonal, or around the low back. And maybe the right hand reaches for somewhere on your left leg. Take one more breath here. And then slowly unwinding, reach the right hand high. And then lower the hand down. We'll sweep the left toes to the back of the mat, gate the shin, reach that left hand high, and we'll come up to standing. So arms lift as you inhale. Exhale, left hand goes down the leg. Sweep your right fingertips towards the mural wall. Really feeling length through the right side of your body. We'll stay for one more breath. Hands reach high overhead. Inhale. Exhale, lower the right hand down to the top of the mat as your left leg floats. Press that heel away from the body. Maybe you bring the hand forward and down to find extension through the shoulder. Beautiful. Last full breath here. Lower the foot down, lower the hand down, tabletop. And then this time we'll slide the fingertips forward, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So pedaling the feet out, swaying the ankles side to side. And then finding stillness in your downward facing dog. Next, inhale ripples forward to a high plank. And then with control, slowly lower down onto your stomach. Palms will frame out the low ribs, elbows stacked over wrists. As you inhale, peel your shoulders up off the mat, baby cobra. Exhale, release. 2 more times like this. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, lower down. Last time, inhale, press the palms, lift the chest. Maybe you stay or straighten your arms to lift the chest a little higher, cobra. Beautiful. Exhale, lower down. As you inhale, tuck your toes, either move through a high plank or tabletop, and we'll meet back in a downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat. Exhale, step, hop, or float to a forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift, gaze comes forward. Exhale, lower down. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let it go. Last time, inhale, halfway lift, gaze comes forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep your hands high overhead. As you exhale, reach for your left wrist and pull yourself to the right. Inhale comes back through center. Exhale, take your right wrist and pull yourself to the left. Inhale through center. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, press your palms, step back, high plank, and pause here. So fingertips really wide, elbow creases forward. Option to stay or drop your knees. Otherwise, as you inhale, shift your shoulders forward. Exhale, bend halfway down, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale, lift the chest, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. So we'll take that 1 more time. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat. Exhale, find your way to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, sweep the hands high overhead. This time, reach for your right wrist as you take yourself over to the left. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, take it to the right. Inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, let it go. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, press the palms, step back to a high plank, and then take a chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Maybe you skip it if you want to take child's pose. And we'll meet back in a downward facing dog. So at any point throughout class today, you can take that flow, you can make it your own, you can skip it. We'll take 3 breaths here. Send the hips high. Yes, beautiful. Next, inhale, gaze to the top of the mat. Exhale, step, hop, or float to a fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach the hands high overhead. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sink the hips low, sweep the arms high, chair pose. So a couple options here. Your feet can be hips width distant apart. They can also be together. Just want to make sure toes, knees, heels are all pointing forward on the mat. Another great option to keep that engagement in the thighs is to place a block between the inside of your legs. So biceps are framing out the ears. So really try tucking the tailbone under, the other way, this way, and then send the hips backwards that way. Yes, beautiful. 2 more breaths here. Next, inhale, hands come to heart center. Exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow might come outside of your right knee. Beautiful. Can you notice what that left hip is doing? Is it really pressing forward in this twist? Can you push the hip and knee back? Really using the hands to lengthen and twist maybe a little bit deeper. Last full breath here. We'll stay low. Inhale, hands come through heart center. Exhale, twist to the left. So right elbow comes outside of your left leg. Noticing where that right knee and hip are in space. Last full breath here. Stay low, inhale, come back through center. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, press the palms, step your left foot to the back of the mat, and then widen the stance of your right foot to the width of the mat. Palms come inside, drop the back knee for a low lizard lunge. So maybe here you stay on your palms. You can also take blocks and lower down onto your forearms. Another option could be flexing your right toes and really pressing into the hip, just making sure you're keeping that engagement with the foot if you're doing that. So think about turning the toes in a little bit here. Yup. And then a little bit more. And then step the foot forward a bit. Yes. And there we go. Beautiful. If you want to press the foot out, just flex the toes. Then it more comes from the knee. Okay. Yeah, beautiful. Last full breath here. Pressing up through center as you inhale. Tuck the toes. Lift the back knee. Pivot to the long side of your mat for a wide-legged fold. So blade edges of your feet are pressing out through center. And then maybe reach for big toes with your peace fingers. You can reach for your ankles. Maybe your palms are in line with the heels and you create a shelf with your triceps. And then just fold here. So as you're folding, can you think about squeezing the shoulder blades together and then really puffing the chest towards your thighs? So think opening through the front side of your body. And then keep that engagement as you fold and tip your hips high. Beautiful. We'll take 2 more breaths here. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, pivot to the back of your mat, frame out your left foot. Right hand stays planted, reach the left hand high, dragonfly twist. So really stacking the shoulders here, thinking about keeping the left knee hugged in close to the body, and then really bending into this front leg. Nice. Maybe the left hand stays lifted, or maybe it wraps around the low back, opening up through the shoulder. Beautiful. We'll take 1 more breath here. And then release the hand down to frame out the left foot. Pivot back to the long side of your mat. From here, bring your hands to your hips, micro bend in the knees, and then we'll come up to standing. Your right toes will turn forward, arms come wide to a T, and then hinge your hands forward, lower down for triangle pose. So a couple options here in your triangle. Your hand can be on your ankle or your shin. Maybe it's on a block, either inside or outside of the foot. And then you're creating really long lines from your right fingertips down toward or up to your left hand. Beautiful. We'll take 1 more breath here. And then bend into the right leg, elbow places on your knee, and then the left hand sweeps forward and down, side angle pose. So you're just allowing the hand or the elbow to stay connected to the leg. You're not really leaning or dipping into the shoulder. So can you really think about pressing out of this elbow and then open the chest? Yes, beautiful. Another option as well can be to place the right hand inside of the right foot for a deeper expression. Maybe you stay or the left hand goes around the low back for a half bind. If you have a full bind in your practice and you'd like to wrap the right hand down and under, reaching for the left fingertips, that's another option. If you're taking that bind, can you lean backwards? Last full breath here. And then release the hands, we'll frame out the right foot. Step forward to fold at the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We're gonna place a block in the center of the mat. Bend the left knee, plant the left hand, reach the right hand high for a twist from the ground up. So you're really pressing the right hamstring back. Maybe you stay here or you make big circles with the right hands. Beautiful. And then keeping the twist, we're just going to place the hand behind our right ear. So stay here as you inhale as the elbow's bent. Exhale, bring the elbow towards your left arm. Inhale to lift. Exhale through center. 2 more times like this. Inhale to lift. Exhale through center. Last time, inhale to lift. Exhale through center, and then just lower the right hand down, bend the right knee, lift the left hand high for a twist. First, stacking the shoulders, pressing the left hamstring back, and then maybe you make those circles with the arm. And then bring the left hand behind the left ear, keep the elbow lifted towards the ceiling, stay as you inhale, exhale, elbow crunches to center. Inhale to lift. Exhale through center. 2 more times. Inhale, lift the elbow. Exhale, crunch. Last time, inhale, lift. Exhale through center. Lower the hand down. Move the block off to the side. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, widen the stance as you sink low into your hips for Malasana. So maybe you're here or you place that block under the hips and bring the ground up. Elbows can be pressed into your knees. Maybe you squeeze the shoulder blades back. Kelsey's got another great idea of placing a block between her hands. So that's another option to really activate through the core. Maybe you close your eyes here. We'll take 1 more breath. Moving any props off to the side, we'll plant the palms, step back to a high plank. And then take a chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. We'll meet back in a downward facing dog. And then either 3 breaths here or 3 breaths in child's pose. Maybe grab a sip of water. How are we doing? Good? Cool. And then when you're ready, we'll just slide the fingertips forward, lift the hips for down dog. So pressing the hips high. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat. Exhale, step, hop, or float to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the hands high overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair pose. Send the hips low. Arms come high overhead. Biceps frame out your ears. Can you really send the hips back on a diagonal? So point the hips back and then bring the chest forward. Yes, beautiful. Should be able to wiggle all your toes around because really the weight's distributed amongst the soles of your feet. Maybe you sink a little lower. Next, inhale brings the hands to heart center. Exhale, twist to the left. Your right elbow will come outside of your left knee. This round, maybe you play around with balance. So we're going to take a look down at the left toes, grip the toes into the mat, and then just pick the right foot up to hover. And really we're relying here on the muscles of the left leg to keep ourselves stabilized. We'll stay for 1 more breath. And then lower the leg down, stay low, inhale through center. Exhale, twist to the right. So the left elbow comes outside of your right knee. This time, take a look down at your feet. Right foot will stay, and then pick the left foot up to a hover. Thinking about really keeping that connection with the elbow to the leg. We'll stay for 1 more breath, and then let it go. We'll come back through center. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, press your palms, step your right foot to the back of the mat. Widen the stance, palms come inside for a lizard lunge as you drop the back knee. Staying low. Maybe you stay or lower down onto forearms or blocks. Option as well to flex the toes, press the knee out. So try widening the stance here a little bit. And then turn the heel out a bit more. Toes stay in, but heel turns out. Other way around. Yeah. And then palms come inside. Yeah. So try bringing this a little wider because we want to make sure that the knee is stacked right over the ankle. Yes, right there. Perfect. Last full breath here. Pressing up through center as you inhale, lift the back knee. Exhale, pivot to the long side of your mat for a wide-legged fold. So on this side, maybe you take the same hand position if you want to reach for big toes or ankles. Another option could be interlacing your fingers at your low back, pulling the palms away, or maybe finding opposite elbows at the low back. Beautiful. We'll take another full breath here. Release the hands wherever they are. Find a halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, pivot to the back of your mat. Frame out the right foot. Left palm stays planted. Reach the right hand high. Dragonfly twist. So thinking about squaring the hips off here. So dropping that right hip down as you pull the left hip up. Maybe your right hand stays lifted or it wraps around the low back, really opening up through the shoulder. Reach the hand high as you inhale, exhale, release. Pivot to the long side of your mat on your next inhale. Hands will come to the hips, micro bend in the knees as you exhale, come up to standing. Turn your left toes to the front of the mat. Open the arms wide, stay as you inhale, exhale, reach, and lower the hand down, triangle pose. So this side might feel a little different in terms of space in the hips, space in the shoulders. Maybe you have your hand on a block on the mat, somewhere on your ankle. Beautiful. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Beautiful. And really think about pressing this hip back. Press the knee back towards the back wall. Yes, and then open this. Yes, beautiful. Last full breath here. And then bend into the front leg, elbow comes to knee. Now the right hand sweeps forward and down to really open up through the shoulder. Can you press into that left elbow to rotate the chest towards the ceiling? Nice, Kelsey. Maybe you stay or the left hand goes inside of the front leg for a deeper expression. Another option could be wrapping the right hand around the low back for that half bind, or taking the full bind, wrapping the left arm down and around. You're taking the full bind. Can you try to lean back? Nice. Last full breath here. Release the hands, windmill them to frame out the left foot. Step forward to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Bring your block under your gaze. Right hand plants this time. Bend the right knee. Lift the left hand high. Maybe you stay or make those big circles. And then the hand will go behind the ear as you open the elbow out to the side. Stay as you inhale. Exhale, crunch to center. Inhale to lift. Exhale through center. 2 more times. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale through center. Last time, inhale to lift. Exhale to crunch. And then just lower the hand down. Switch out. So left palm's planted. Bend the left knee. Reach the right hand high. Then maybe you make those big circles with hand or arm. And then hand comes behind the ear. Open the chest and elbow to the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale, crunch. Inhale to lift. Exhale through center. 2 more times. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale to crunch. Last time, inhale to lift. Exhale to crunch. And then lower the hand down. Move the block off to the side. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, malasana, so toes wide, heels in as you sink low into the hips. Maybe the block is underneath the hips. Maybe you got the block between your hands. And you squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the chest, nice feet up. Maybe you close your eyes here. One more full breath. And then lower any props off to the side, press the hands down, step back, high plank, and take a chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. And then we'll take the flow one more time, just moving breath to movement, just adding on a little bit. So just listen to your breath here. Allow it to guide you through these movements. Inhale, gaze to the top. Exhale, find your way to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, sweep the hands high overhead. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair pose. Send the hips low, sweep the arms high overhead. Next, inhale brings the hands to heart center. Exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow comes outside of your right knee. Take a look down at the feet. Right foot stays. Lift the left foot to hover. Stay as you inhale. Exhale, lower it down. Inhale, turn back through heart center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow hooks outside of left knee. Take a look down as you inhale. Exhale, lift the right heel up off the mat. Staying here, lower the foot down, turn back to center, hold it here. We're gonna add on. So right foot's gonna stay planted, and then cross your left ankle over your right thigh for a figure four chair. So thinking here about really pressing that knee out to the side, flexing the toes, and sinking low into that right hip. Beautiful. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. Can you find something to focus on in front of you? Maybe it's your consent token or speck on the floor. Maybe you test your balance and close your eyes. On your inhale, uncross your legs. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palm, step your left foot to the back of the mat. Widen your stance, lizard lunge. Maybe you stay or drop the knee. We'll stay here just for 1 full breath. Pressing up through center as you inhale. Exhale, turn to the long side of your mat, wide-legged fold. Taking any hand position that works for you. We'll stay for 1 breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, pivot to the back of your mat, frame out your left foot, right palm plants. Inhale, reach the left hand high. Maybe you stay or the hand goes around the low back. We'll inhale to lift. Exhale, let the hand go. Inhale, pivot to the long side of your mat. Micro bend in the knees, hands to hips as you exhale, come up to standing. Turn the right toes forward, arms come to a T. Inhale to reach. Exhale, triangle pose. Lower the hand down onto your ankle, shin, or a block. Staying here for a full breath. And then inhale, bend into the knee as you bring elbow to knee, sweep the left hand forward and down, side angle. Taking any variation of this posture that works for you. If you want to take the half or full bind, lower the hand down. We'll stay for a full breath. And then releasing the hand down towards the ground. Maybe you reach for your block and bring the block in front of the right foot. Your left hand could go to your hip. Bend into that right leg, sweep the left leg high for half moon pose. Maybe once you stack the hips, open through that left hip, the left hand goes high towards the ceiling. Beautiful. So that left foot, you're really flexing the toes like you want to stamp your heel against that back wall. So that really allows you to lift from the inside of your leg. We'll stay for 1 more breath here. Lower the hand, lower the foot, step forward to fold. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Center the block under your left hand as you bend the left knee, reach the right hand high. And then this time we're just going to stay, option to wrap the hand around the low back. And then reach the hand high and just switch out the hand. So right palm plants, bend the right knee, lift the left hand high. Maybe you stay or the hand wraps around the low back. And then reach the hand high. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, widen the stance for Malasana as you sink low into the hips. Closing your eyes here. And then lower the hands down, step back to a high plank, and take a vinyasa from here. We'll meet back in a downward facing dog. So 3 breaths in down dog or 3 breaths in child's pose. We'll take it on the left side as our last little bit. Inhale, gaze to the top of the mat. Exhale, find your way to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, folds. Inhale, sweep the hands high overhead. Exhale, forward fold, let it go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chair pose. Send the hips low, arms come high overhead. Next, inhale brings the hands to heart center. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow comes outside of your left knee. Inhale, take a look down at the feet. Exhale, your right heel hovers. We'll stay for a full breath here. Then inhale, lower the foot down. Exhale, twist back to center. Stay as you inhale, sink a little lower. Exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow comes outside of your right knee. And then grip the right toes as you inhale, pick the left foot up. We'll stay for a full breath. And then release the foot down, come back through center. Stay here as you inhale. This time cross your right ankle over your left thigh for a figure 4 chair. Pressing that right knee out, really squeezing the shoulder blades together, taking the gaze forward. We'll stay here for 1 more breath. Uncross the legs as you inhale. Exhale, let it go, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, press the palm, step your right foot to the back of the mat, widen the stance for lizard lunge, palms come inside. Maybe you stay lifted or lower the knee and forearms down. Next, inhale, lifts through center. Exhale, turn to the long side of your mat for a wide-legged fold. Taking whatever hand position works for you. We'll stay for a full breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, pivot to the back of your mat, frame out your right foot, left palm stays planted. Inhale, reach the right hand high, dragonfly twist. Maybe you stay or the hand wraps around the low back. Next, inhale, lifts the hand. Exhale, let it go. And then inhale, pivot to the long side of your mat. Hands come to your hips, bend the knees as you exhale, come up to standing. Inhale, arms come wide, turn the left toes forward. Exhale, triangle pose. Then opening the chest. We'll take 1 more breath here. And then bend into the left leg. Maybe your elbow goes to your knee for side angle. And the right hand sweeps forward and down. Then from here, maybe you place the right hand on your hip and then bring a block underneath your left fingertips in front of you. Grip the left toes as you lift the right leg high for half moon. So once you've got the hips stacked, and you're really pressing that right heel away. Beautiful. Maybe the right hand lifts towards the ceiling. Nice, Leah. Can you keep a really long and strong lifted leg? We'll take one more breath here. Lower the hand, lower the leg, step forward to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Center your block under your gaze. Your right palm plants this time. Bend the right knee, lift the left hand high for a twist from the ground up. Maybe you stay or wrap the hand around the low back. Then reach the hand high and switch out the hand. So left palm plants, bend the left knee, reach the right hand high. Stacking the shoulders, maybe you stay or wrap the hand around the low back. Inhale to lift, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, sink low into Malasana, either with the block under your hips or maybe between your hands, and just close your eyes. And then open the eyes, lower the hands down, step back to a high plank, and take a vinyasa from here. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. And then take a child's pose. Sink the hips low. And then slide your fingertips forward, lift your hips for downward facing dog. Right leg lifts as you inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, fan open the hip. Maybe you make circles with the leg. And then square the hips off through center and draw the shin through for pigeon pose. So allowing the knee to come to the top of the mat. Another option as well could be taking a figure four on your back if this is a lot for the hips. And then square the hips off through center, lift as you inhale, exhale, forward fold. Can I place a block under this hip? There we go. Nice, perfect. Staying here for a couple more breaths. If you're in a figure four on your back, just rocking up into a seat. And then those in a pigeon, just lifting the chest. We're going to tip into the right hip to bring the left leg out front. And then cross the left leg on top of the right for this compact shape. Left hand will come behind you, reach the right hand high, inhale. Exhale, hook the elbow, twist open to the left. If this is a lot for the hips, you can also extend the right leg long and then just keep the left leg crossed. You can still take that twist. Beautiful. So thinking about bringing the left fingertips really close to the back of your hips and pressing into that hand. Thinking about lifting the chest towards the ceiling. We'll take one more breath here. And then inhale through center. Exhale, counter twist to the right, leaning the chest down to the ground. We'll take one more breath here. And then pressing up through center. Just crossing the legs and rolling over your knees. We'll step back to a high plank and then take a vinyasa from here. We'll meet back in a downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knee, fan open the hip, make circles with the leg. And then square the hips off as you draw your shin through for pigeon. Lifting the gaze as you inhale, exhale to fold, or taking a figure 4 on your back. We'll stay here for 2 more breaths. If you're on your back for figure 4, just rocking up to a seat. And then we'll all lift the chest as we inhale and then tip into the left hip to bring the right leg up and around in front. So the legs crossed over, and then right hand plants behind. Inhale, reach the left hand high, hook the elbow as you twist open to the right. So that left leg could also be extended for a different variation of this twist. Really lifting the heart. Try placing this hand back behind you. It's a little closer to the hips. Yes, there we go. Beautiful. Last full breath here. And then coming through center as you inhale, exhale, counter twist to the left. Maybe you lean down to fold. And then inhale through center. Exhale, cross your legs, roll over your knees. And then this time, step back to a plank and just lower down onto your stomach. And then create a pillow with your hands framing out and lowering the forehead down. Just bend the legs, sway the knees side to side, just releasing through the hips for crocodile pose. Just taking a couple more breaths here. And then extend the legs long. And then just turn onto your back from here. You should have your blocks by your forehead now. And then we'll just take supine twist and a couple of inversions. So plant the feet down, cross the right leg over the left, and then allow the legs to drop to the left as your arms come wide, taking a gaze over the right shoulder. So maybe you place a hand on that top leg to gently guide. We'll stay here for 1 more breath. And then coming back through center, we'll just uncross the legs and then cross the left ankle over the right and drop the knees over to the right, allowing the hips to release. And then maybe you take your gaze over your left shoulder. And then coming back through center, uncross your legs, hug your knees into your chest, and either just massage the low back, or maybe you take happy baby by widening your knees, reaching for the outer edges of your feet, bending one knee, straightening the other. And then lowering your legs down, and knees are stacked over your ankles. Maybe you slide a block under the hips for a restorative bridge pose. Maybe you stay here or extend the legs long and wide or lift the legs towards the ceiling. So just allowing your breath to calm. And then slowly bringing your legs back through center. lifting your hips, moving the block off to the side. And then extending your legs long, maybe setting up with props under your knees or under your neck. Just making yourself as comfortable as possible. And then we'll take one cleansing breath together as a community. So big inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Shavasana. And then I'm gonna come around and for Shavasana, just do a lavender shoulder press. So if that's not something that you'd like today, just feel free to give me a wave. Thank you. Start to deepen your breath. Maybe you wiggle your fingers, move your toes. Just bringing awareness back to your physical body. Maybe you reach your arms high overhead for a full body stretch. Lifting your chest towards the ceiling. And then hugging your knees in close and rolling off to your favorite side. And just reflecting on your practice this afternoon. And coming back to our theme of Santosha, or finding gratitude. And I'm just going to read a quote by Deepak Chopra that really resonated with me that says, Santosha is the practice of finding peace in the midst of chaos. With everything going on around us in the world today, what are those moments of peace that you can take from the mat and bring them into your everyday life? So with that, we'll meet in a comfortable seat at the tops of our mats. We'll bring our hands to heart center and seal in our practice together with 2 release breaths. So let go of any air in the body. We'll take a deep breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Let it go. Thank you all so much for sharing your beautiful practices with me this afternoon. The light in me sees and honors the light, beauty, strength, and grace in each and every one of you. Please join me and say namaste.